we? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Carla again, and I think we're live. Let me check because it's been an interesting afternoon. Yes, we are live, and we are going to do a part 2 of the interview I was doing earlier because we were cut off because of technicalities. And what I was asking Faisal or Faisal?
Faisal.
Was just very briefly, what would you like to leave our audience with when it comes to talking about sustainability and the work that you are doing? And while you are doing that, I am fixing things up. So,
Sure.
please.
For my words for my audience, for your audience, would be to revamp or rethink how we're going to handle our lives and how we're going to pursue our careers and our goals. So I would like everyone to rethink that our primary target or our primary goal before we strive for anything else should be to achieve our sustainability or self-sufficiency in meeting our needs. This might sound ordinary, but in terms of mindset and in terms of potential, this will unlock a dynamite. This will unlock unbelievable amount of energy in people and potential, because the fear that the modern lifestyle creates when you have to depend on your services that you sell to others, and the economy is always unpredictable, job markets keep changing, so many factors that we cannot control, we do not control, affect our satisfaction level, our how we perceive ourselves in this world, where we stand in our position. I would like everybody to initially aim for achieving some basic goals where you're independent or you're free. You're not living by having to pay bills every month for your basic needs. So learn these basic arts. They will have profound impact on your mental health, on your physical health, and on your ability to take on enterprise. Because once you're secured with this feeling that you are self-sufficient, you're not going to go hungry, you're not going to be kicked out of a rented property. If you aim for this basic goal, you will be able to do it very quickly compared to the degree and so many years that we put into pursuing a career first. So these life skills, these basic things should be our first motto, our first agenda in life, first milestone. Once we have achieved this, we're free to do whatever we want in life, whatever business we want to commit to. But these basic things should be our primary focus. And we should learn these skills. They are much easier to learn compared to the complex things we do in terms of providing our services to the rest of the world, which might not be great for many of us. There's always unpredictability, there's always uncertainty. So take this path and this will liberate you.
Okay, now when you say liberate, what do you expect? What do you want people to get from this?
You see, when I sure, the major things like, for instance, I have come to know that an average graduate in US ends up graduating with about $50,000-$60,000 debt, and it takes them more than 10 years to pay it off. So I'm sure that takes a toll on a person's mindset, and it, instead of spending so much energy on buying inflated degrees and trying to learn those skills which might not be in need once you've learned them, just go for your basic life skills first. Be self-sufficient with growing your food, be independent with your energy, try and switch to vehicles or means of transport which depend on uh, electric energy, and they're simpler, they're easy to adopt. Go for uh, homeschooling if possible. That will give you a lot of space to move out in countrysides with your children. Learn those basic skills. It will save you a lot of hassle, which you going through this corporate culture, working for these huge corporations just as a clerk. So this is my message or my way of living.
And how does your family feel about that? Are they excited or?
For they've not seen this thing implemented, at least in cities, and they would. Change is always uncomfortable initially. Everybody resists it, but eventually, if you have planned everything well and you know what you're doing, this can be a very powerful move in terms of our freedom and the way we lead our life. So they are on board to a degree.
Only to a degree when you've been working so hard. We shouldn't get into that.
No, I will be honest with you. You see, if somebody was born in a city and brought up in a city, if you tell him that we're going to move to a countryside, or actually, I do have a plan even for the city dwellers, but personally, for myself and my family, I would prefer a countryside. And when we think about this, they are uncertain sometimes about how we're going to go about educating our children, how homeschooling goes. But we have a lot of new technologies. The internet is pretty much accessible everywhere in the world. You could go use satellite internet, and there are other options. So I don't see any real barriers in pursuing a life which is much more comfortable compared to a city dweller's life. That I think resources in a city are lesser because too many people are competing for them, and you just have to depend on some specialized service which you don't control in the uh, large scheme of or in the large picture. So they are on board to a degree. I would say if I move and if I decide to move, being the decision maker in my family, they would follow. They would be slightly uncertain in the beginning, but I'm sure once we've done this, because we come from a village, uh, we like nature, we like those things. So it would be easier, at least for my family. They would like it.
Great. Do you have anything else you want to offer? Because we are definitely over the half-hour mark, but that's okay. I just felt bad how it ended so suddenly.
I would invite everyone to explore the technologies, those simple technologies which are out there. Do your research on parabolic cookers. Do it on geothermal energy. Do your research on solar energy. They are simpler than you think. Do your research on alternative construction. Do your research on permaculture. Do your research on urban farming. Do your research on growing your own food preservation. These things are very vital in life. Everybody should uh, have information about these and should practice this in their life. It will have profound impact. Somehow, all of these skills are missing in our mainstream schooling, and that creates a generation who have no clue about these things and the daunting kind of demands that the system has. They never get a chance to explore those things. They don't see a lot of working models or examples around them. So I would invite everyone to research these things. There are these technologies, these simple things that are out there. Learn them, apply them in your lives. Bit by bit, liberate yourself. Eventually, you will be able to reach a position where you don't have to depend on a job or a business primarily for your survival alone. For the rest of the things, you can certainly pursue whatever you want.
Okay, thank you so very much for talking to me. Thank you for wanting to come back. based on everything that
I appreciate your patience. You were very kind to invite me back.
and we are going to remind people that this show, like all of my shows, is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, and we are going to wave goodbye. And we'll come, I'll be back some other time. Can you wave goodbye with me?
Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Carla.
Now, don't go anywhere yet. We are going off air